Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today. In this video, we'll explore the circle as a conic section, learn its equation, and identify key features like the center and radius. By the end of this video, you'll see how a simple shape connects geometry and algebra. So let's dive right in. So what do we mean by conics? If I were to put two cones together and I were to slice through certain parts of the cone at different angles, the conic section is what kind of shape that slice looks like. So this first shape we're going to talk about is a circle. Now, a circle we know is a set of all points that are equidistant from a fixed point, which is called the center of your circle. So you learned that back in geometry, and you also learn that the radius is the distance between that center to any point that is on the circle. In this lesson, you will need to recall certain formulas from algebra, which are the slope formula, the distance formula, and the point slope formula. Now, the standard form of an equation for a circle with your center at HK and your radius of R is as follows. Now, please make sure you understand that the H and the K refers to your center and that the R is your radius and it is radius squared. Now, the important thing to remember is if your equation is not given to you in standard form, you would need to make your coefficients 1. So you might have to do some division in order to get your equation in standard form. So here, let's go ahead and state what the radius and the center is. So my center here is H and K. So remember that your formula is always either X minus H or Y minus K. So if you happen to have a plus sign, that center point or that value is going to be a negative. So this one's going to be at -1 and then 3. And then my radius, so 25 is R squared, so that means the radius is the square root of that, which is 5. So then from my center, I'm going to be going 5 units in each direction. So doing that will allow you to draw your circle. Okay, so here we have H and K again. So my center is +4, but we have a -5 here. Now, my radius is R squared here, so that is going to be 2. So I need a distance of 2 in all directions from my center in order to be able to draw my circle. Okay, so in this question, we're going to go ahead and write the equation of the circle, and we are given our center at the origin. Now that means the origin is at 0, 0, and we are going to be passing through 0, -3. So here we can imagine if we were to draw our center here at 0, 0, passing through 1, 2, 3, -3, we know that our circle is going to be something like this. Right? So what we can do is we can say, well, from here, we could actually count what our radius is. So that is 3 units. So our radius is going to be 3. And then we also know that our center is at 0, 0. So the H and the K are both going to be 0 as we figure out what our formula or our equation is. Now, in order to simplify this, we can say that this is the same thing as just x squared plus y squared, and then 3 squared is going to give you 9. Okay, in this question, our circle has a center at -3, 5, and we have that center passing through a point at 4, 2. So if I were to draw this, we have -3, 5, well, approximates right there. 4, 2 is about here. Now, unlike our previous question where we were able to count the number of units down 3, there is no actual way that we can count accurately what this sort of radius will be. So we will have to use a formula to help us to find that sort of distance between those 2 points, which will then get you the length of that radius. And that would be your distance formula. So again, the distance is going to actually be the radius at this particular question. So our radius is going to equal the square root of, and we have our 2 points, and we can say that here is x1, y1, and then our second point is x2, y2. So we have x2, so 4, minus x1, which is -3. And then we are squaring that, and we're adding that to y2, which is 2, minus y1, which is 5. And then we are squaring that as well. So as we simplify this, we are going to get 7 squared plus -3 squared, which will get us 49 plus 9. So that means our radius is the square root of 58. Now, again, in order to write our equation of our circle that would be in standard form, we're going to use our center as well as our radius. So we have x minus our h, which is -3. We're going to square it, plus y minus 5. And then we're going to square it, and that's going to equal our radius. Now the radius was the square root of 58, and I will be squaring that. So again, in order to simplify, you would have x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared. And when I have the square root of a number and then I'm squaring it, those cancel out, and you have just 58. So here you have to find the equation of a line now that is tangent to our circle, and it is tangent at one specific point. So here's some information that you know. The center of our circle, H and K, and we know that we have to find the equation of a line. So let's say we were to draw our circle here, and the center is going to be here, and that's at -5, 4. Now, if we were to have a line that is tangent to the circle, recall from geometry that a tangent line is perpendicular to the radius. So here we have a tangent line, happens to be perpendicular to a radius. So here's my radius. And again, lines that are perpendicular have 90-degree angles. So this particular tangent line is tangent at that point, -10, 16. The first thing we're going to have to do is find the slope of the radius. Now, you might say, well, we already know our radius, but that's the length of the radius. We want to find the slope of the radius. And the reason why we're finding the slope of the radius is to find the slope of the tangent line. Now again, remember that the slope of the tangent line is going to help us be able to write the equation of that line in general. So to find the slope of the radius, well, you have 2 points. So you can use your slope formula. Okay, so to find the slope, we're going to do, here's x1, y1. Here is x2, y2. You've got, let's see, 4 minus 16 over -5 minus -10. So that's -12 over 5. So there's the slope of our radius. Now, what we need to do after that is, well, we want to find the perpendicular slope. Now, to find the perpendicular slope, that's where you have that little symbol, looks like an upside down T. Well, we got to find the perpendicular slope because that's going to get me the slope of that tangent line. So it is opposite and it is reciprocal. So that -12 over 5 becomes a positive number, and it becomes 5 over 12. So that means the slope of this particular tangent line right here is going to be 5/12. Now, the very last thing we're going to do is we're going to find the equation of the tangent line. Now, what do we use? We can use our point slope form. So we have a point that is the -10/16, and then we also have our slope. So to write our final answer, we're going to use y minus y1. So my y1 is 16 equals my slope, which was 5/12, and then x minus x1. So x minus a -10, which means when I simplify that, minus a negative is the same thing as plus. Now, I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future notifications on other pre-calc videos. Thanks for watching and have a great day.